cock ring, I was a little bit like mystified on exactly what the cock ring is about. What exactly? I've never used one.
You are one pathetic loser.
So tonight we'll know so that I can start giving away the prizes. I'm not gonna lie, I was looking for somebody completely legit. I found someone that I'm super happy to bring on here. I'm honored that she's here. This is the lovely Julia Richardson. Julia, hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So now you are on the board of directors at Pure Romance.
Mm-hmm.
And your official awesome title is the Sexual Wellness Educator and Intimacy Coach.
I am the smartest man alive.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so I have some questions about that. But first, I just want to hear a little bit of your backstory, a little bit of, how you started in this awesome business, how you got to Pure Romance.
Oh boy. Okay. So before I started doing PR, I was a teacher. I taught middle and high school English for 10 years. And then I quit because we had our kids. And so daycare was obscenely expensive, as I'm sure all parents know. And I ended up having to stay home. And I was doing daycare out of our house because we still needed an income. So after a few years of that, I was going slowly insane, watching all these kids, couldn't leave the house. And I went on the mom site on Facebook. I said, what do you do to stay home? And all the different direct sellers came out, one of which was Pure Romance. I got invited to a party. I really didn't know what to expect. I went and I left that night really mad that as a female who is educated, I was not taught any of these things. And so I bought the kit, which is like the starter kit to potentially do this as a side gig with no intention of actually doing this as a job. And I really just got it because I was like, oh, here's some fun stuff I can get at a discount for me and my husband. And then
Nice. Yeah.
the training, you get training with it. And so I love to learn, and I started doing the training, and the more training I got, the more obsessed that I got about women's sexual health. And now here we are 5 years later. I've been on the board of directors for 4 years. We have an almost $1 million team. We are all about, the big thing with PR is that everybody thinks it's all about toys. We are not all about toys. We are about helping women from the beginning to the end. So boosting foreplay, helping you feel good about yourself, self-love, all of that, and then leading into all of the things with couples and partners and toys and all of that stuff. But with toys, we do want people to know it should be, especially in male relationships, male-female relationships, the males should not be threatened by toys. Toys are your partners. They are not your enemies.
Right. Oh my gosh. That's fascinating because someone was, I think Shannon, one of our members here, she was making fun of me that I had never used a cock ring and I didn't know exactly what it was, or a C-ring. Is it weird to call it a cock ring, or is that the name, or should I call it C-ring?
It's actually a C-ring.
Okay. Sorry if I... Cock. I thought it's a C-ring.
C does not stand for cock. It actually stands for...
What? No.
Yeah, it stands
Julia,
for...
no. Are you serious?
Hey, moron.
Yeah, it stands for constriction, couples, and control.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say cock ring, that's completely false. That's incorrect.
Yep.
Interesting. If you sniff a vibrator, if you sniff a dildo,
I love getting my nose in there and sniffing buttholes, brother.
and it smells okay, then it's clean. If it has a weird smell, it's dirty. How do you know if a vibrator's clean, and how do you clean it?
Okay, so first of all, you
don't sniff it?
clean your toys with toy cleaner. You never clean a toy with soap.
Oh
ever.
my God, are you serious? This is amazing. So it has to be just a toy cleaner.
Yeah, the reason why is because soap breaks down silicone. It leaves a residue that will causes it to dry out and crack, which then collects mold, bacteria, and fungus. And then that's getting into all the parts that you don't want it. And it can cause different infections. So or clean with toy cleaner. And we hear people all the time, they're like, Dove soap or hand soap. We're like, don't do it. No.
So
toy cleaner.
if it doesn't smell, it could still be dirty. And use it clean.
We would tell you if you've had any infections, like say as a female, you had a yeast infection, say you had BV, say you had some sort of infection. We would tell you do not use your toys when you have an infection, because if you do, even if it's a clean toy, potentially you can reinfect yourself or reinfect a partner.
Right. And so you have the cleaning solution or whatever it's called, of course.
Yep, cleansing
And
mist.
so if people are hopping on it now and hopping off, they can go to, you have what, prbyjulia.com, and that has more information on everything. They can contact you or products or whatever.
And they can always message me through your page too. Because I'm on there. If they have questions first.
Awesome, you guys. So now there's a lot of questions I want to get to. A lot of our members have sent in questions. I know we only have about 20 minutes here. So the first thing, of course, so the C-ring. Oh my gosh, I've learned so much. This is amazing already. The C-ring, Shannon was saying, it's supposed to be at the base. It kind of acts as your hand squeezing the base of it, and it gets engorged, bigger.
Look at that. You can see my dick from here.
So is that pretty much it? Or is there more uses for it? Or what's your description of it? Oh my God, look at that. Is that a C-ring?
This is a C-ring.
Is it brand new? Has your husband been in that thing? Or No? Just curious.
Fucking shut up!
I'm a curious little boy over here.
You do not use demo toys for yourself. No, that would be gross.
No, I didn't mean for your husband to come in and put a shaft in it. I'm just saying, has it been on there before?
Stop talking!
It's brand
And
new.
when we do parties for females, we are not sitting around using toys on each other either, because people seem to have that thought too.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
So
That's not happening.
So in all seriousness, at the you have a special, like, there's a special thing with Pure Romance. You can't have the actual products in your hand if there's a male at the venue or whatever.
Men and children are not allowed on the premises during parties. Part of that is because of the state by state laws. Like if we have, a lot of the times we're going live from a party into a Facebook group. It crosses obviously lines. There are different states where have phallic toys on display for sale. For men is considered solicitation, like prostitution. But really, 1 out of 3, almost 1 out of 2 women has been sexually assaulted in some way. So when we're doing parties, men and children can't be there because it's meant to be a safe space for women to learn about sexual health. Children, obviously, they can't go into a sex store because of obscenity laws, child obscenity laws, and child endangerment laws. And so it's the same thing if we're coming and setting up on a property in a living room to have kids in the other room. No.
The C-ring, it's mainly for the male pleasure. That doesn't really do much for the female. Of course, if she's into her man. No, really? Am I totally wrong?
The price is wrong, bitch.
C-rings are amazing for partners because it turns you into her living, breathing vibrator.
If it's intercourse with a C-ring on, that's good for her, and it vibrates.
Uh-huh.
And you.
So this is going to gently constrict around the base of the shaft. First of all, if you are like, I'm big and these are too small.
I'm so massive, my giant Peter North shaft.
Yes.
Right.
The other thing I would tell you is you have to be very careful about which kinds you get. This is silicone. All of the ones that I'm showing you are silicone. If you get a cheap one from like a condom box or Spencer's or whatever, and it's jelly does not stretch. Silicone stretches, jelly does not. So if you've ever tried a C-ring on and it like turned your penis purple and red, it was super tight, and that's a jelly one, not a silicone one. So this goes on the base of the shaft. We tell you to use a very specific lube with it, so you as a male partner do not get a rug burn.
Okay.
This moves it all.
Gotcha.
And then this whole thing vibrates. And because this whole thing vibrates, this is going to vibrate around the shaft as well. So it makes the entire shaft vibrate for her. So you are essentially her whole toy.
Oh my God.
This is hitting clit. This is hitting everything internal.
So does it have to be at the base, or can it be in the middle of the shaft? Or
I would do base. Always base.
Base?
It's going to be more comfortable for you there. The other thing too is like you can take this off. You could use this on your partner. Just hold it like with your fingers. You can do nipple stimulation. You can do all kinds of things with this. And so
I love boobies.
It's a toy that's fun for multiple reasons. And men, there's a lot of men who actually start using a C-ring. Once they start using it, they like it. And they start using it all the time, even when they're just masturbating by themselves.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
Really?
Yeah, because they like the constriction, and they'll also tend to feel the vibration as well.
Crystal and I, sorry, babe, but you know me, I keep it real. The C blockers running around. We don't really have a whole lot of time. It's the romance is limited sometimes. I mean, is there anything that you think? I mean, maybe I should get a C ring. I mean, that sounds kind of cool. A C ring and do it in the laundry room, right, or something.
C ring is good, and you can wear it in any position. So
yeah,
C ring is good. I would also say for females, the biggest sex organ is actually your brain. And so if you want her in the mood, ready to go, you need to be doing all the things during the day to help that happen. So whether it's sending dirty texts, whether it's, romanticizing her in some way, whatever you need to do. So that way, when you are ready, she's ready.
I love it.
It's not something that you just came up with in the last 5 minutes and you're like, hey, babe, let's go. What can you be doing throughout
I know, that makes sense. You know what? When you told me that the biggest sexual organ in the female is the brain, I thought about that for a while. I mean, that's so interesting. And I thought back to it. Every time we kind of talk and we hang out and we get talking about things and it kind of slowly happens, it usually happens for me. If I try to just grab her ass or grab her boobie and get her, that never works. That mental thing, connect, and it kind of rolls into it. I mean, of course, I guess at 2:30, bang me in the laundry room can be exciting. I hear what you're saying though. The brain for the female.
And when you have kids, you kind of got to do it when you can. I mean, whether it's the closet, the laundry room, the bathroom.
Yeah. We have a question from Shannon. Can the Just Like Me lubricant be used with it?
Nope.
No.
The reason why, Shannon, is because the Just Like Me is water-based, and it's actually meant to be used inside the vagina. It is not meant to be used outside the body. So if you put it on outside, it's going to absorb very quickly. So for any C-ring, you want the whipped lube or the cream lube. It's a creamy emollient lubricant, and it's meant to hold outside the body. It's also lickable, so you can use it for, lickable massage. You can use it for oral. You can actually use that one for everything: oral, anal, vaginal, with toys, without toys, lickable massage.
If the girls perform oral on the guy with a C-ring on, of course, that's mainly for the guy. But of course, if the girls enjoy doing it, but that won't be anything for her, really. I mean,
that usually won't actually help you either. It would help you last longer if you were if you were struggling with that. But otherwise, I would say take a C-ring off before oral.
Let's take drugs and go down on each other.
And otherwise, you're literally going to take forever, and she's going to be like, I'm so over this.
Oh, I gotcha. So now what about people do anal with C-rings on? Or is that I guess you could? Interesting.
You could. But I don't know that a lot of people do. I think more people are doing finger play. More people are doing, if you're putting something in there, it's usually, I don't know that it necessarily always has a C-ring around it. And the other thing with C-ring too is, like, if your partner likes it, you don't have to use it every single time. It's something to just change things up and give you some variety and try something new. Yeah. So, maybe this time you use it, this time you don't. See what you think. You also have 10 different speeds and vibrations. Okay. So are you, your partner, if your partner's female, she's going to have to figure out what she likes. Does she like the low speed, the high speed, the patterns, all of that? And there's a learning curve in the beginning. So you have to be kind of patient with each other while you're figuring it out. Right.
Now, aren't there some C-rings with that little bunny thing where it plays with the guy's anus?
I think there are. We don't have any of those.
I know, like I said, guys don't really admit they like that, but if they would be open to it and try it, they probably would like it. I had one girlfriend back in the day out in L.A., man. She was all about anal play with me, and it freaked me out.
If a guy will do anal, it's actually really good for you. Well, it's very pleasurable for you because you guys have the prostate, which is located inside the rectum. So if that's stimulated, that will give you the best orgasm you've ever had.
Everything ended up better than expected.
Wow.
When you have a C-ring like this that actually this is the only one that Pure Romance has that has the 2 rings. The benefit of the 2 rings is that you put this around, and then this larger one pulls down and goes behind the testicles. And
Okay.
that vibration,
that.
it does not hurt. It's not too tight.
Uh-huh.
You, as the male, literally flip them through.
Wow, I could play with these balls all day.
Girls, don't do anything with it. Let them do it. It'll be a big old mess if you try. And so
Yeah.
you get it through, and then this part would be vibrating behind the testicles, and that can stimulate the prostate from the outside. So this can give you a lot of pleasure in a lot of different areas because it's stimulating a lot of different places.
Wow, very cool. Your parties would be fascinating. I bet you get into. I mean, I can tell you're into. You're passionate. You know your stuff.
I think that one, parties are a good way. Two, we do one-on-one consultations or couples consultations. So that's another option.
Oh, okay,
for
nice.
people.
Yeah.
And now with online, everything's opened up. So we can do those via, video or in person. I'm in St. Louis. So there's lots of different options, but for sure, we make sure you know how you're using the things that you get because we want you to use them.
Right.
And we want you to enjoy them. But yeah, for me, I think parties are super important because I do a lot of education about pelvic floor therapy. And most females are having babies, thinking about having babies. And if they've had a child, I can pretty much guarantee they've never been told about pelvic floor therapy. And that can literally save your parts. It can help with things with your partner and make things more pleasurable. It can help prevent prolapsing, incontinence, all of those things. And nobody's ever taught that. So that's one of my big things that I always talk about at parties. And people walk away and they're like, what? Like,
Nice.
how have I not learned this before?
Right. Oh my gosh, this is fascinating. Val asks, we just bought a cock ring bullet, very stretchy. It made his shaft solid purple where the ring part is for about a week. It was very sensitive. He's afraid to use it now.
My guess is very tight, too tight, and probably jelly, not silicone.
Shannon asked in a post today, how does one become an intimacy coach?
So with Pure Romance, the way that we do it is if you are thinking about doing it, you can shadow a party, you can have a party, see what it's like, and then you buy a kit and then you get started and then there's training. Now, there's a lot of people who do this. They do it for the money. They don't necessarily do it for the education. And so they may or may not be able to help people as well. I love the education piece, and that's my passion for it. And so my goal is how can I help people as much as possible? And so I go to every training. I want to see everything. I want to learn all the things. And so the more that you learn, the more you can help people. So for me, I think that's a huge thing. Is it's not just you sign up and you're all of a sudden this knowledge is just dropped in your head and you can just help everybody.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
You have to actually do the training and work for it and learn it. But I will tell you, it is the most fun job I've ever had. And I make 3 times what I did as a teacher, 10 years into teaching. So
Right
if I
on.
would have known what I know now, I would have 100% been doing this on the side when I was teaching.
I got you. Well, teaching and what you're doing now, it sounds like very rewarding. You're helping people. You're informing them.
Still
education.
teaching.
Yeah. It's all,
Teaching sex ed.
yeah. It's so cool. Good for you. I love it. Donna Kay just threw out a big shout out to you. She said Pure Romance has awesome products. She has several products, I guess, lube toys, all kinds of stuff that she's with. So Donna Kay is a huge fan. Are you ready? Do many females buy vibrators or strap-ons to pound their man home?
Why is this happening to me?
That's my exact question on the paper here. That was my little note and follow-up and my question. Is that weird?
Okay, so it's becoming more and more popular.
Where girls pound their men home with a strap-on?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And so we have a 16-year-old daughter, and on TikTok, it's a big thing now for the males, the ones who identify as male, to I guess wear, this is her thing that she told me from TikTok, to wear maids outfits, and then their female partners get strap-ons and are doing it.
Well, that's okay, dude. Anal is fun.
Wow.
And this is like, she's 16, and this is like, she's like, oh yeah, all the kids in high school, this is what they're doing. I was like, lovely. So we've had lots of conversations because, and guys, if you think you don't have to talk to your kids about sex, You better get on that because school's not doing anything.
Seriously. Sarah says, as a single person, she is more concerned about where to buy products to satisfy her sexual needs at home rather than going out and catching a disease she can't afford. Talk to Julia, Sarah. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. Just message me. I would tell you, you get what you pay for. So I get people that message me all the time because they saw some toy online and they're like, oh, it's super cheap. It's like $50. And I'm like, yeah, what kind of orgasm do you think that's going to give you? So,
all right.
and then they try the one that I tell them and they message me and they're like, oh, holy God, that was amazing. I can't walk. Like, thank you.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Oh my gosh.
For sure, like just message me and we'll figure out. There's multiple kinds of orgasms. So you need to figure out which kind of orgasm you're trying to get with a toy first. And then I can tell you which toys would work best for that. So we can chat.
This is fantastic. You guys, Julia Richardson, she's on the board of directors at Pure Romance. Congrats on your success and what you're doing. PRbyJulia.com. Check her out. Thank you so much for joining us. That was fun.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye, guys.